While it seems as if the governor has kind of thrown a lifeline to some of the restaurants by allowing them to reopen, and now she has increased capacity to 50%, it is still a struggle. With us now on the show, Cortney Casey. She's the managing partner for the Blue Skies Brewery and Michigan by the Bottle. So great to have you with us again.
Thank you so much for having me back, Ronnie.
So I know the last time we talked, you guys were trying to get online to be able to get some of the grant money. How is that going?
It was hit or miss with some of the grants, but we're just grateful for every little bit that we can get. And we were very fortunate to get the second PPP loan. So that has really been a lifesaver. We're very grateful for that. So it's been an interesting few months for sure.
Right. It's almost as if you have to become an expert in trying to get the grants because the money runs out so quickly.
Yeah, and every one of them is different, and one of the struggles we're finding with Blue Skies, Michigan by the Bottle has been around for over 8 years now. And so we qualify for a lot of these grants. Blue Skies, we opened this location in Auburn Hills during the pandemic, during the beginning of the pandemic. May 7th, the day that construction restarted, was the day that we actually opened for curbside carryout because we had some construction delays. So because we weren't open in 2019, we weren't eligible for a lot of the grants. So that just added another layer of complication to everything because they want to see like what your profits were in 2019 and that sort of thing. And we have nothing to show them because we weren't open yet. So
right, and it's so hard to actually get a person on the phone to be able to discuss some of these issues.
Yeah, it's really difficult. I have to give the credit to my husband Shannon because he's become our full-time grant application manager. That's his new job. So he's done a great job. So we're grateful for every little bit that we can get, and especially the support of all of our patrons for continuing to come out, supporting our virtual events, and when we were shut down, coming out for curbside, and now thankfully being able to come out and dine inside.
So tell us how things have been going since you've been allowed to reopen to indoor dining.
It's been up and down, which is kind of like the story of this Corona year. I found this time around people seem more willing to come out right away. I feel like after the last shutdown, I think because it was a very new situation for everybody, it really was hard to get people in and feeling comfortable about everything that we were doing to keep people safe. This time, I feel like people know the protocol, they know the drill. We've done this before, right? So they know how we operate. They know that we're doing everything right. So it has been easier to get people to come in, but it's still a struggle because, that 25% capacity until tomorrow, that's not a lot for restaurants. And we're very grateful to be able to operate at that capacity, but that is still a really difficult number. So we are really looking forward to this 50% capacity. But I know your last guest was mentioning, how a lot of places have had to let people go because they just don't have the budget for it. And there's another level to that I think we've discussed on my previous visits here, was that not only do a lot of places have to let people go, but that there's a lot of people that don't want to work in this industry anymore because either they don't want to be the guy that has to tell people to wear masks, or they don't feel comfortable being in the public, or a lot of our employees who have left, they have new circumstances in their lives triggered by the pandemic, whether it's childcare, some kind of a familial situation, they're taking care of older parents and they don't want to go out, without being vaccinated. So that's added just another level of complication, is trying to find people to work when you need the employees. So.
And there's so much uncertainty around the industry because what if the numbers go up again and you get shut down again? It's that cycle and that uncertainty that makes it hard for people to say, I'm going to stay in this business if they don't have to.
Right. It's a hard job to count on right now. And honestly, I'm a little scared. I did not think under my wildest dreams that we would be allowed to go back to 50% capacity before St. Patrick's Day, because if you remember last year, we were shut down fully the day before St. Patrick's Day, and I think a lot of us believe that was, to keep people from going out and celebrating on St. Patrick's Day, understandably, because people go out and have lots of drinks and get close together and pack in crowds. So I really didn't think that was going to happen before St. Patrick's Day. So I'm really hoping that because this was allowed before St. Patrick's Day, that we don't end up hearing from the state that, well, everybody was not very well behaved on St. Patrick's Day, and now we have to go back to 25%. So that's the roller coaster we're on right now, and I'm just hoping that this is only going back to normal from here, or gradually going back to normal from here, and not just going to go up and down,
I'm with you. I was really surprised. I thought
Yeah.
if she, reduced the restrictions, it wouldn't take effect until after St. Patty's Day.
Right, exactly. I was completely shocked. So, and grateful, but just I'd rather keep it at 25 if we're just going to go back to 25 later. But hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we're going to just keep progressing from here, and I'm trying to have faith in that.
Cortney Casey with us here on the MegaCast. She's the managing partner for Blue Skies Brewery and Michigan by the Bottle. With that, Cortney, what has been the response been from the public having to close at 10 o'clock?
At Michigan by the Bottle, it hasn't been a problem because we do close at 10 on the weekends and 9 on Wednesday and Thursday. So that hasn't affected us at all. Blue Skies, it did significantly affect our hours, and we needed to move up some of the concerts and everything. But, we haven't heard a lot of negative feedback or anything from the customers, probably because they understand it's not anything that we can control. So I think a lot of people are kind of exasperated by it, feeling like they've got a curfew with their mom and dad, but at the same time, I think they don't really express a lot of feelings to us about it because we can't control it. So we've just kind of rolled with it. I mean, I feel like we've changed our hours at Blue Skies like 6 times, which is not really how I like to do business. Obviously, I want to be my job is the marketing. I want to be clear and communicate with our customers. And so it's kind of hard to be like, okay, well, this week we're open until this time. But they get it. They understand, this week we are going to start extending our hours until 11 on Friday and Saturday and kind of go from there. But we've actually had a really good response to our live music and everything. And even though it's starting an hour earlier, I actually feel like we're getting much more steady attendance at those. And then we've actually had to turn people away, which sometimes people are upset by that. I think they want us to just kind of like slide under the bar, but it's obviously very important. I mean, people are watching, and I want to do the right thing. I want to make sure that we can stay open. So as frustrating as it is to have to turn away customers, and especially at this time when we really need the business, hopefully people understand that we can't control that. So.
Right, because at the end of the day, it's a risk to your liquor license, and that's the last thing you need.
Right.
So with that, how is it going for you and the team in trying to secure enough employees?
It's been hard. We have a few interviews this week, so that's making me hopeful. But it's usually we get a lot more applications than this when we put out a call for positions. And I do feel like there's still a lot of hesitancy for those hospitality jobs. And maybe this is because I'm a glutton for punishment, but I'm actually a partner in another project that's opening within Blue Skies. We're doing a coffee bar called Layover, and that's going to be opening in the spring. So we're actually hiring for that too. So now we're looking for baristas too. So we're just trying to make our lives more and more complicated.
Yes.
Hospitality businesses are a very complicated industry right now, but we keep doing it. We must be crazy. I don't know.
But do you find that people are so eager to get out of the house now, even more so than I think that first go around, because we're just all tired, and you want that experience of going out and eating and talking with people.
Right. Yes, absolutely. I do feel like you said, I think it's even more this time around. So even though this pause was shorter, I think because last year we were getting into spring and people could kind of go outside, and they kind of alleviated some of their distress about the pandemic that way. And now it's, it's been winter. It's not, unless you're a winter lover, which I'm most definitely not, this is not the time to hang out outside with your friends or go take a nice hike or something, so it's like, I think people were really getting stir crazy in their houses. And we saw I believe since the last time I was on the show, we actually added the winter wine bubbles outside at Michigan by the Bottle, so people can reserve those bubbles for their quarantine pod or their household. And those went crazy over, the coldest weeks, because we had heaters. People could feel like they were outside. They could feel like they were with their friends, but they didn't have to worry about being around other people or being in a large room. And so those were very, very popular. People are ready to get on with life, and luckily so many people I know are getting the vaccines, and I think it's only going to be better from here, hopefully, as more and more people get vaccinated and we can start getting slowly back to real life, so to speak.
Do you think that they should add people that work in the hospitality industry as some of those essential workers to get the vaccine earlier?
I mean, I'm completely biased in this regard,
Right.
but yes, I do. I would really like to see that. I'm sure everybody kind of feels that way, that their particular industry, deserves that priority. But my team members are out in the public every day, serving people at their tables, and I know some of them have already gotten it, luckily, because for a lot of them, this is their second job. So we do have some healthcare workers, we have some teachers, so they've already got them. But it would be nice if we could get our team vaccinated. It's definitely something that I'm keeping an eye on for all of our team members, keeping them updated, watching the Macomb and Oakland County websites to see when that might open up, encouraging them to register with all the entities they can. Since we do have locations in Oakland and Macomb, they would be eligible for either county if they open it up for restaurant workers. So we're really hoping that will be soon.
Right. And with that, tell us more about live music returning. Is it hard to book people right now, or there are so many people eager to get back to playing?
It's actually easier to book people right now because a lot of places aren't having live music, especially with the 25% capacity. So I had our musicians, we kind of have a steady roster of musicians, and I keep adding to it as I meet new people, but we have a really reliable list of musicians. And so they reached out right away, saying, we understand if you're not doing live music, but if you are, we would love to come in. So we are having really good luck with the musicians, and people are loving it. People are, like you said, people want to get out. They want to be able to see entertainment and have fun. So that's been going really, really well.
There are a few things that replace live music, right? It's like just such a different energy when you can listen to live music.
Absolutely.
So with that, going forward, how long do you think you can survive at 50% capacity?
I think we're going to be okay. Just I'm very fortunate in that my husband in a previous life was a banker, so he's very financially savvy, and I'm the kind of creative end, and he's the logistics end. So he set us up pretty well, where I think we'll be okay for a while, but just definitely need that continued support of our guests, which we really appreciate. It's definitely not going to be the most lucrative few years for sure. We're just trying to survive at this point, not rolling in the hundies over here, but we are, I think we'll be okay. And I think the exciting thing too is that the city of Auburn Hills has continued to try to evolve the downtown, which was an ongoing project before the pandemic. And there's a lot of exciting new projects going on down here. And so I think that, seeing that forward progress is really encouraging, even amid a pandemic. And so I think once we get some more businesses down here in downtown Auburn Hills, which is definitely a major priority for the city, I think we'll be seeing even more and more customers, more and more traffic. And they're building tons of new residential down here. So I think things are going to be looking up from here. I'm hopeful.
We are all hopeful, fingers crossed. Quickly, Cortney, before we let you go, with some of the upcoming live music bands, do people need to make a reservation to be able to get into your restaurant, or is it just it's first come, first serve?
It's first come, first served. And right now we're not doing music at MBTV, which we hope to continue soon. We're having some discussions now that we're going to be at 50%. But at Blue Skies, we are doing it on Thursday nights. Every Thursday we have our house band, which is Pinter Whitnick. They're a Detroit-based duo. They're fantastic. They do a different theme every week. And then on Saturdays we have rotating musicians, and that's our 7 to 9:30 are the concerts. So it's just first come, first serve. There's no cover charge. And we do have non-alcoholic beverages as well if people aren't drinkers. We have craft beer, hard cider, hard seltzer, wine, and we have panini and snacks, and you can bring in outside food too. So that's all at Blue Skies.
Oh, that's great. Where can people find out more information?
More information at blueskiesauburn.com or mbtbtasting.com, and we're also on Facebook constantly. That's me. If you message on there, you're talking to me. So yeah, we have different Facebook pages for each of the locations, but we post constantly about all of our virtual events coming up, as well as our in-person events too.
Well, fingers crossed that we don't go back another time, right? Like we continue to go forward, because I think we're all ready, especially if we go into the spring and it gets warmer out as well. We're going to see more and more people go out. And with that, though, I have to ask, those bubbles, do you think you're going to keep them around in the summertime?
I think we'll probably keep them until the weather breaks, and then we're going to be able to put our patio back up in Auburn Hills at both Blue Skies and MBTB Auburn Hills. So then we will be able to do and at MBTB Shelby too, we have a couple tables outside. So then we'll probably go back to our traditional outside seating for that point. But I'm not ruling out putting the bubbles back up next year because people really, really enjoyed them. So they've been fun.
I know. I want one for my backyard.
My husband has one for the garage, so he can smoke his cigars in the garage.
Oh.
See? Well, Cortney, it's always great having you with us. We so appreciate your time. But again, everyone, support local. And when you go to the restaurants, please be nice, be kind. It's great having you with us.
Thank you so much, Ronnie and Tyler. Appreciate it.